Oh my god, I'm dead. We haven't even. I'm dead. Okay.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the...
It's movie night with Bill and Lil.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I am Billy D, and here with me as always is...
Lilith DeVille, your girl. Hi guys, gals, not binary pals. Sorry for my flusteredness. Billy was just being Billy.
And are we doing something special tonight? Is this gonna be a movie-themed episode?
It's gonna be a general movie-themed episode. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Because it's episode what?
10. Woo!
There we go!
Yay!
Billy, we can't do second takes. You gotta get my cues a little faster than that.
You're sending mixed signals, and I don't know if I like it.
No. Can we have a discussion how I didn't post a TikTok today with my new hair because I thought Billy was going to be super excited, but Billy didn't even react when he saw my hair.
Oh, no, that's on the list after...
30-inch extensions
No, that's...
sewed into my head.
That's on the list right after we talk about how I'm so replaceable on this podcast.
Oh my god, I knew you were gonna bring this up. I talked to
I
Rob
wasn't gonna.
about
I
your
wasn't
bitch
gonna
ass.
say shit until you brought.
I talked to Rob about your bitch ass. He's like that.
Oh, okay. I said I'm quitting the podcast because I had to.
He duped me, and I felt okay.
But
Billy
it wasn't.
calls
It
me.
wasn't. Okay. How many episodes do we have left? It wasn't. What movies can we fit in at this time? What can we do?
I was in a state of panic.
It was.
And this was not
Can I
the
continue
first
the
thing I
podcast
said.
with somebody else?
No, that is not what
Immediately
I
replaced.
Said. That is not what I said.
I have security cameras that probably caught that audio.
That is BS. 110 freaking percent. You want to know what happened was Billy texted me, said I have bad news. He called me. I missed the call because I was outside, of course. I called him. He missed the call. I left him a message, and I was like, "Oh shit! I hope everything's okay. I hope the family's okay." And then he calls me back, and he's like, "Well, I have really bad news. My wife has told me I only have until October to continue the podcast." And my heart sinks immediately. I'm panicking at this point, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible." And then the second thing I said was, "Do you mind if I continue the podcast?" I didn't say with somebody else.
I am going to look through the security camera footage because I swear you said with somebody else.
No,
and
that
then
was your own
I
head that
I
implanted
said
that, Billy.
with who? Rob? Izzy? How many people do you have ready to go?
Billy, you know I love you.
You're right.
We're
You're right.
fucking Abbott and
Hold on.
Costello,
I'm gonna
okay?
just.
We're fucking.
I'm just gonna cut this scene out. This is just making things awkward. So, hey everybody, welcome to episode.
You better not, you little biatch.
Gee, hold on. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 10.
No,
I'm
no,
Billy D, and
no.
I'm replaceable. And here with
you
me.
You do not get a redo. You do not get a redo. Doesn't happen that way. Sorry, honey bunch. No redos.
Anyways,
No redos.
what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through my letterbox, and Lil's gonna go through her IMDb page, and we're
Because
gonna.
I'm old school, okay? Don't judge me.
Well, I cheat on my IMDb, so everything's either 10 or 1. You're either for it or you're against it, and then my true thoughts, feelings, and the way I see cinema is gonna be on my letterbox because.
No, understood. I'm only using IMDb is because that's what I generally use, and that's my true rating system. As I told you earlier, and I'm going to tell the general population now, it's very hard for me to rate a film 10 because even if I think it's a perfect film, there's always room for improvement. So if I have a film I bring up tonight that I've rated a 10, it's either going to be a regret or it's going to be one that I'm convincing you to watch because I think it's a 10 for some reason. That I enjoy it to the point where I thought, like, this deserves a 10 or deserves a bump in the rating to where I would want to give it a 10 instead of a 9. So, we're going to have a general movie discussion tonight, and we're going to give thanks to every single one of you guys, gals, non-binary pals for being here.
And I think as a added treat, I'm going to put in 3, count them, 3 blind rankings. You know why?
Because you want to mess with me that badly, that's why.
No, we already did them. It's on the lost episode that nobody will ever see.
Oh! Ooh, good idea.
So might as well just put them here. I feel like they're one of the best things in the podcast. And what would be interesting is after, like, bits we do, like, I know we're going to talk about hot takes. We're going to talk about underrated movies that people probably haven't seen. And if they don't watch this episode, they probably will never hear about it. And we have so many things planned. It's just nice to spruce it up with a couple of blind ranks, because that's definitely one of my favorite bits we do.
Yes, I agree. I love the games, and maybe in season 2 we might add on another game or two, or maybe later in the season. I don't know. Maybe I'll convince Billy. He might need some convincing because that's extra editing, but these games are so much fun.
These games are fun, and that's why I didn't mind doing 3 in one night. Unfortunately, I was drunk. Rob was out of it, and Lil was Lil.
I was just me. I was just here like, I love this movie, and Billy's raging, and Rob's just like, and not to judge Rob whatsoever at all. I still had a great time having him on that night, and that lost episode may come out in about one of these days, but as of right now, it's gonna remain a lost episode.
Yeah.
Various reasons.
Like, seriously, like, I don't know why I was vicious. I was bitchy. I even went after Lil. I forget what was the.
I have no idea what. No, you went in like every single thing you went in that night. Okay, Billy had a.
I said something.
Big old cup of alcohol.
I never seen Lil have a bitch face like I'm pissed off at you and I'm not talking until we did that episode, because Rob said something. It was a joke about Courtney Cox, and then I just Uno reversed that card onto Lil, and that smile that she usually has turned into like, the fuck? And I was dying laughing. I thought my jokes were hilarious, but then again, I could have came off as a total asshole.
I don't remember this, but based on how that episode went, this is very likely.
No. Honestly, like, a part of me wants to take that. Clearly, I faked the rant at the end of Scream 3.
Yes,
like,
that was funny.
But that was a mimic of an actual rant I did, and I put all my heart, passion, and soul to this speech. But the sober Billy can't remember drunk Billy's words, and the passion was lost in translation.
Sober Billy forgot that he had a giant bottle or giant cup of alcohol that he just drank like it was water.
Yeah,
so it kicked in instantly.
Yeah, for some reason Jack just tasted like water that night, and it was amazing. It got me through Scream 3 like 2 or 3 times, and then I had
You know 50 people are going to be like, we need this lost episode now. We need to see Billy rage.
Oh.
And
I was brutal, and I feel bad with the way, like, it got to the point.
Don't feel bad. I think we all just had an off night.
On top of that, I keep looking. The time keeps ticking. Purgatory is a hard word to say.
I got you.
But we were like 2 hours and like minutes in. I'm like, if people really wanted to know, or like, they would just go watch Scream 3 in that short amount of time. And I had to take them individually. Lil left, I think she smoked or used the restroom or whatever. But Rob was there, and I'm like, look, nobody's gonna watch this. It's this long. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to like start getting to the points. We talked about every police officer scene, every time the cast met up and talked, even when it was about not shit. It was just, it was brutal.
See, I didn't mind it because I adore that one. You, however, don't like it. It's not Rob's favorite, so
It definitely
Yeah,
wasn't Rob's favorite, but the thing is the behind the scenes stuff was more interesting. You can tell there was a time crunch and they crunched it together and everything felt useless, and that's where I'm like, oh my god, let's go, let's go.
I got you.
Like I was like internally screaming, like there's a like, get me out.
No, like internally?
Oh yeah,
what
what
was
internal
internal?
about it? There was nothing. It was, and then
Billy just felt like he did not want to be there. That
and then
night, man.
yeah, any aggression I had, I started taking it out on Rob and Lil. And the only way to calm down was we talked about better movies at the end, and you guys will see those tonight because I'm putting them here. They finally have a home. I know that was rough.
Billy, you're a hot mess, but we love you.
All right, I'm happy we're here. Let's go ahead and start with your hot takes. Like, this is 10 out of 10 movies. What is Lil's 10 out of 10?
Now you know I'm gonna bring this one up because I want to shock you and other people. And nobody in this earth is gonna rate this movie a 10 out of 10, but me. Solo or 120 Days of Sodom.
Okay.
That's my first 10 out of 10 on the list. Would you like to know why?
Go ahead. Why?
Because this movie is literally shock for shock's sake. But it has a point and it looks good. And when you come to shock cinema, I adore it because I'm a gore hound. I like to push my buttons. I've been going with horror since I was a child. So I like shock cinema to affect me. Solo is one where I own like the grand collection of it because it is beautiful to look at, though you want to look away every second, basically. The director had a vision. He made it happen. Like, even the English dub of this is interesting to listen to when the prostitutes are speaking, because there's scenes in this where the group of teens, as we'll put it, that they all kidnapped are sitting in this room, and they're made to listen to these stories of these two prostitutes that were hired. And like, the way that they did it, these stories are so horrific and twisted, but the way it's performed, they're joyous and they're happy, and it's kind of like a musical-esque. And it's like, these people are demented, but it's so pretty to look at. And like, but to this day, and another reason why it gets a 10 out of 10 for me, it's the only movie I have ever watched where on my second, third, etc. viewing, I have to walk out of the room for one scene alone because I cannot hold my stomach. And that is the dinner scene where they use excrement as a delicacy. And I've sat through it once. I walk out of the room, listen to it, and then come back in when it's done, because I can't handle it. But having said that, you're gonna all judge me because if you've seen it, the effects are very of its time. It was done 1975, so keep in mind some of the practical effects aren't golden, but I still consider this a 10 out of 10 film for shock cinema. It's basically as good as it gets. So that's my opinion on that one, Billy.
There we go. I was about to say, you gave me an idea that I definitely want to ask, and my pen died.
Uh-oh.
Can we go ahead and talk about it now?
Yeah.
Have you ever walked out of a movie theater movie? Like, you went to the movies and you just left because it was that bad?
Yes, I have.
What? What was it?
Godzilla in the early 2000s.
Oh,
Me and my
really?
dad went to see it, and we walked out because we saw it took about 45 minutes to even see like a hint of Godzilla, and then we're just like, okay, we're done with this movie at this point. This is boring.
even the other remake, like the 20, what was it, 12?
No, like the newest one, I haven't watched.
Okay. The
That
n-
one that one in the early 2000s, late 90s made me bitter and never made me want to watch a Godzilla film ever again.
The newest one is kind of the same in a way that, but the suspense builds and it's great. To where this
that's-
other one, it doesn't amount to anything, and it's
That's my
it's
thing.
totally justifiable.
I get that, and I understand the aspect of not giving away the creature right up front. But with the Godzilla movies, that's kind of why I go see a Godzilla movie. It's kind of like if I go see a Jurassic Park movie and they leave it till the end. It's like, come on, my friend. I came here to see dinosaurs. I want to see dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason. There was one other one, and it wasn't on my volition. I wanted to stay because I was enjoying it, but my two friends yeeted out on me. So I had to leave with them, and it was Open Water. I enjoyed what I saw of it, though it's not an Oscar-worthy film by any means, but I enjoyed the concept, and I like that they used real sharks in it.
See, my friends left Green Inferno. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm staying. So me and like two other people stayed while we went with like a group of 5 or 6, and they're like, oh, we can't handle this, and they
Okay.
got up and left. I only,
Oh, okay. It wasn't because they didn't like it; they just couldn't handle it.
yeah, it was too extreme.
Okay.
For
got you.
There's one movie I walked out of because I hated. I was like,
Okay.
there's no way I'm finishing this. And so in the mid 2012s, like, or it was around that era, young adult books was a thing, and they kept making more and more and more and more. So Twilight just ended. They're looking for the next big thing, a book called The Host. Have you heard about it?
Okay, we're not talking about the Japanese, the host. We're talking about the
No.
one by Stephanie Meyer, right? Or Meyer.
Yes, I
Yes,
think
I
so.
have. Yeah, my sister was obsessed with Twilight. That's the reason I watched them and I got into the Twilights because I didn't start seeing them in the theater until the New Moon because I didn't watch the first one until she made me and I got stuck. They're like kind of like heroin. Once you start, you kind of can't stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I have heard of the book. My sister said it was an interesting one. It wasn't as good as Twilight, but she enjoyed it.
I couldn't stand it. My
Okay.
aunt took me and my sister, who they both were big Twilight people, and I love.
I don't think she ever saw the movie. She only read the book. So
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I love movies just to be in the atmosphere, and that one was
I get it.
a pain in the ass. What felt like 20 minutes. It was horrific.
Oh, Billy. Jeez, Billy. Always an issue, Billy. God, Billy.
You're the one that was talking her head off. Jeez.
Whatever. Okay? Your wife went to Hell's Carnival and you don't expect me to ask questions?
Anyways,
I heard dancing nuns with hula hoops and I was down.
dancing.
Anyway, it's your turn to talk about a movie that you think is 10 out of 10 and is fairly underrated in your opinion.
I hate this app because it restarts my stuff.
You're good.
So my list is gonna be more or less like
This is any genre right here. You
It's-
can go anywhere you want.
it's any genre, but I would say these are movies that people typically won't rank at 5 out of 5.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think that's something we should bring up. The movies that we're bringing up are 10 out of 10s to us, but we don't, or the general population does not consider a 10 out of 10. And we're basically kind of like pleading our case to you of why we think they are 10 out of 10s, or like to each other. And we're just going back and forth discussing films we love, even though they're not loved in the general population, even though we adore them.
So I have tons of movies that I would say make sense, like Across the Spider-Verse, American Psycho, Gone Girl, The Shining, Seven.
American Psycho's a good one that not a lot of people talk about anymore. I will have to say, for a person that I don't like as an individual, I can still watch American Psycho and enjoy that film. Because Christian Bale reminds me of somebody that has been in my life. and his real life, and I don't mess with people like that for certain reasons. But I'm just gonna keep it at that and say he has a very respectable, very funny, enjoyable performance in that film. And my sister was obsessed with him in that film. She wanted him so bad.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Army of Darkness is a 10 out of 10 movie for me. A lot of people
Same.
wouldn't rank that high. If Army of Darkness is that high, so is Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
Just the craftsmanship, the movie making, and how they went through all of
Oh
that.
yeah.
Uh,
All the original Evil Deads, including Army of Darkness, are 10 out of 10s on my ranking list.
Krampus is on that list.
Oh, the PG-13 Krampus?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look to see, because I can type in my ratings to see where I rated that, I think. Let me see. I want to know where I rated that compared to you. Because I love that movie. I hesitated with love. But it has Toni Collette, so I have to say love. I thoroughly enjoy that movie.
I like the family atmosphere, the dynamic of the family.
I gave it an 8 out of 10, and
That's
that's
not
my
bad.
honest rating. No. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought I really like the gingerbread guys and stuff like that. I thought they were really cool. The creatures really were the highlight of that one for me.
The practical effects and the atmosphere, it definitely went
Mm-hmm.
down as an instant Christmas classic, in my
Oh,
opinion.
I agree. I agree. Like I put that on last December in the living room, and my stepdad and my mom sat down and watched it, even though they don't like horror movies. And I'm like, it's just one of those movies. I think Toni Collette has something to do with that. It's something about her. I swear, like she got a witch to cast a spell, and anything she's in is epic.
You want to know something funny?
What?
I have 2 Superman films as a 10 out of 10, but I have 2 Batman films as well, but I have 3. I have 3 Spider-Man films as a 5 out of 5.
Really?
Across the Spider-Verse is hands down the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
Okay. That's the newest one, right?
Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man.
Okay.
Across, it went down like to 4.5. It's close,
Okay.
but it wasn't top cigar like that one is. Spider-Man 2, sentimental value, Sam Raimi, the villain's great. I love the music, the
That's
theme.
the one with Sandman, right?
That's Spider-Man 3. This one's Dr. Octopus.
Oh, got you. Yep.
What else? What else would be... Deadpool is another one. Deadpool, I seen in theaters
Deadpool's great.
37 times.
Great. Okay, I see you're bringing out like titles everybody's gonna know. I have one that nobody talks about, nobody knows about. It's been on Netflix, and that's how I originally found it. It's, I believe, a German film. It's called Alice. Don't make me pronounce the creator's name because it's not gonna happen. It's as long as the alphabet, okay? But it's literally a live action / claymation version of Alice in Wonderland, but very grim fairy tale esque.
And
Like it's
you rated that a 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10, and it's from 1988. I rated it out of 10 out of 10. Neko Z Alkni is, I don't speak this language, I'm sorry, is the original title. But if you can find the English subtitled version or the English dub version, I do prefer that version. And you like claymation and you like grim fairy tales, like those dark, very like I don't want to say Tim Burton because this is darker than Tim Burton. This is like mind warp kind of dark, but it's still Alice in Wonderland in the traditional story with the little girl going through Wonderland, but it's all claymation around her too. And it's so well done. He did it pretty much all himself. And he is a master in claymation. I'm sorry that I cannot speak his name because yeah, you want to see if you can say his name, Billy? Would you like to attempt to read that name right there? If you could even see it. But no.
So
it's
yeah,
like-
it looks like Jan's Jamaica major. Shaveka
Yeah,
Major.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not even said how it's spelled. That's why I don't try to butcher it. But it's Alice. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It is from 1988. It runs at an hour and 26 minutes. If you can get a hold of it, 100% watch it. It says it's on Amazon Prime for rent if you're curious and you enjoy animation or claymation and that kind of stuff.
Clay animation. You're right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You want to move on to movies you would recommend that people probably haven't heard of?
Well, that's what I just did, Billy.
Oh, you did a 10 out of 10 one. You don't have to do 10 out of 10s. Like, Satan's Little Helper is not a 10 out of 10, but I'd highly recommend Satan's Little Helper.
That movie is a hot mess and a half. I never finished it. I only got to the part where Satan's Little Helper had sex with the Little Helper's sister. And I was like, okay, I'm coming back to this one.
Yeah, you need to go back, rewatch it.
I will.
It's a fun one.
Okay.
Another one a lot of people haven't heard of, at least when I try to talk to them. But I don't know if it's a hidden 90s gem. It shouldn't be. The Frighteners.
Oh, I love that movie.
I don't...
You know the original cut is like 4 hours long.
Yes, but if you go and get the director's cut, it only extends it by 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
It's kind of like the House of the Thousand Corpses case. The original version is out there. Why can't we see it? If people want to sit there for 4 hours and watch it like a mini series, let them.
Fresh went under everybody's noses last year. So did Deadstream.
I love Deadstream. I think I've discussed this before. The only fault I felt it had was its ending. It felt a little weak to me, but that movie is thoroughly enjoyable. It's on Shudder. If you like found footage and you haven't seen it, definitely check that one out.
Santa Slays.
Santa Slays. I haven't. Is that the one with Fran Drescher in it? And
yep.
Yes. I need to see this film. I keep seeing clips. I keep saying I'm gonna watch it, and I haven't watched it yet because it also has Vanessa Gayheart in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I need this film in my life.
The Wishmaster series is a Wes Craven.
Oh yes.
Produced.
I was gonna bring that up, especially the second one, because it's one of those where I feel the sequel outperforms the original, in my humble opinion.
It's where it starts getting kind of funny, you know?
1 and 2 are the only ones that I consider like good in the franchise. The rest are kind of like straight to DVD moneymakers. The creature's not the same, the actor's not the same, it's not the original formula. They bring in a sword in one of them to just stop the demon, and I'm like, come on now, people. Are you even trying at this point?
Hardcore Henry is one that I would recommend. I have a list on IMDb. Saving Silverman.
Okay.
Is a Jack Black film that a lot of people skip over. In fact, it has gay representation in there.
What is it?
Saving Silverman.
Oh yeah, that was it had Jay and Silent Bob in it.
No, it didn't.
Oh, I'm thinking of Saving Amy.
Yeah. Saving Silverman basically is this guy who gets with this bitch. Jack Black and his friend kidnap that woman, and she gaslights them to making them believe they're gay. And then they realize, you know what, we are gay. Like, we don't really care for women. And then at the end of the movie, they get married.
That's freaking hilarious.
I think so too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got one that nobody probably has ever heard of and is available on Shudder as of right now if anybody wants to watch it.
Go ahead.
It is a George Romero movie that just recently got released in 2001. It was locked away after it was made because it was originally made as a PSA for people to treat the older population better. It is called The Amusement Park. It was made in 1975. It runs at a time at 54 minutes, and trust me, that is long enough to get the feel of this PSA. They canned it because they said it was too effective. Well, in George A. Romero's fashion, he goes fairly hard with portraying his stories, and he did that in this one. And it really is literally, it follows an elderly gentleman in a very like dream-like way, because he starts in this room and he's talking to somebody and he tells him, don't go out that door, you're gonna regret it. And he's like, I still kind of want to do it. You know, he's chipper, he's happy. He goes out that door and he's in an amusement park, and it's literally every ride and every interaction that he has is a metaphor for something that happens in the real world with elderly people. But it's done in a way that is very effective, and it pulls on your heartstrings. And I do consider this a horror film, and it is on Shudder. It's called The Amusement Park. As I said, it has an introduction from an older gentleman who acted in the film. The majority of actors, if not all the actors in this film, were volunteers. None of them got paid for it. They all did this for the sake of the PSA. And it hurts my heart that this was done in 75 and just got released in 2021, because it is so effective, it's so good, and it makes its point.
At first, when you said amusement, I thought it was that terrible clown movie.
It's not terrible. Rat in a Box, Billy. That still affects me, that damn Rat in a Box.
My wife picked, like, she worked at a discrete place. She's like, hey, this looks scary. I know how you like scary movies. Let's watch this.
It does look scary in the cover. The cover is very deceiving.
And, well, she brought it home. We sat down, we watched it, and, oh man, it was like, is it almost over?
It's not the best movie in the world, but I do enjoy that one. I do. I haven't watched it since it came out though, so it's like I kind of need to rewatch it to give it a new.
It's been 5 years for me for sure, and I still have it on Blu-ray, and I'm like, man, I should just get rid of it.
Hey, I'll give you The Lighthouse, because I thought that was like really boring.
That was 5 out of 5 of my. I really like William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson on that.
So do I. I think their acting's outstanding, but I don't think there's really a point to the film. I watched it and I'm like, was there a point to this?
I mean, they didn't trust each other. If anything, it's...
Well, I know that. It's an art house mood piece. But at the end of the day, I personally didn't find a point to it. So that's why it was a fail for me. I do own the Blu-ray, and you know I'm going to give it to you, because it's just not my favorite.
I mean, it's the same thing with Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark. If Indiana Jones never was there, the Nazis, the Nazis would have still got it, opened it, and died.
He is literally a pointless character in his own film.
In that first movie, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big Indiana fan. The Pit of Snakes was my favorite part. That was about it.
What else? I'm trying to think of other movies that like.
Okay, you want to go? Let's go to. Let's see. What else interesting do I have up here to talk about?
You can also talk about hot takes. Like, here's a hot take: Transformers, at least the Michael Bay series, like the first 3, not the last 2, severely underrated.
Okay.
And my favorite is number 3, The Dark of the Moon.
Ooh. Okay, I can't comment on that because I've only seen the first one, and then I saw the one where they switched Megan Fox out.
That's 3.
That's 3. I've seen that one.
So
I did like that one too.
The main reason why I like that is because they actually made NASA and the space race, like, they changed history in pretty much all of them, but that one felt the most believable. And then also the Kennedy and Nixon stuff felt cool to watch. Optimus Prime was amazing. The way they duped the Decepticons into going into space just to fight it out in like Chicago. Chicago is like an hour away, and it
was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see like the battle in the city kind of aspect of things. Like, it was an epic battle.
Well, it wasn't Hong Kong. It wasn't New York. It wasn't L.A. It was Chicago.
It felt local for you.
Like, So, also, Man of Steel shot a lot of scenes in Chicago, a small town outside of Aurora. So you can
the
eat.
Windy City.
Yeah, well, you can go to the small town where he had his big epic fight, and then you can go to the IHOP that they like beat the crap out of each other at, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's awesome. That's
all
awesome.
local.
I love that. That's why I love John Waters films, because I'm a Baltimore baby and I can go to a lot of the places that are in his films.
Hairspray.
Yes.
Oh,
Sir.
Crybaby. Was it filmed around Baltimore?
It was filmed in Baltimore. Crybaby was filmed in Baltimore. Pink Flamingos was filmed in Baltimore. Hairspray was filmed in Baltimore. Though the remake was not, because our sound stages were not big enough, so they went to Canada, the buttheads.
So, honestly, like, if there's ever a world where, like, people are marching the streets and they're trying to test people if they're gay or not, and if you're gay, they're gonna take you and hang you and all that. If they start playing
Honey.
show tunes and musicals, like,
Honey.
seriously, Moulin
Honey.
Rouge, Crybaby, I'd be singing the whole time.
Let them try to take the gays out, okay? You know how we have claws.
They have
Okay?
guns.
Honey. I bite, I claw, I scratch. I will take you down by.
That's not
any
gonna do
means. I
anything
don't
with a
care.
bullet.
I will go down kicking.
This is like the Always Sunny thing. Like, knives are cooler, claws. Like, no, a gun. And then he's like, okay, what if I do this? And then like he's trying to dodge it, and he's like, see, like a gun beats it all. It doesn't.
I can't with you, Billy. I hate you so much. I hate you.
It's like
so
all they
much.
have to do with me though. They're like, please, Mr. Jailer. And I'm like, won't you let my man go free? And then they're like, get him. I'm like, no, I have a wife and kids. I swear.
So basically, a Handmaid's Tale, but with gay people.
Oh yeah.
No, but okay. So if you want to talk about movies that aren't well received, but I consider a 10, Pontypool, have you ever seen that one?
So you don't even have to consider them a 10. You like
Okay.
whatever you want to talk about from here on out. But Pontypool I never heard of. That's a good one.
You've never heard of Pontypool?
No.
Okay. People don't like it because it's a zombie film without flesh-eating zombies.
So they're vampires.
No. Not that either.
So
I have the book it's based on. I enjoy it so much, which is nothing
Spell
like
it.
the film because
spell it.
yeah, okay. Pontypool is done in a very cold winter's night to where it's like a whiteout. And we start out with a guy on the phone with his agent. He's not happy with his job. He's a radio caster. He goes to work. He ends the phone call with saying he quits. He goes into work. And it's this little town, bum town. So it's this little station. It's very isolated horror. And I love isolated horror.
Is it small town Ontario?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I think I found
it's a
it.
Canadian. Yes. A radio host interprets a possible outbreak of a deadly virus, which infects a small sorry, my tongue. Town. He is stationed in. So it's like playing out in real time in his little station. Like it goes as a normal day on the radio station, and he's drinking because he hates his job, and it's a really likable character because he's very known in the horror world. He's played by Stephen McHattie. He's been in a lot of horror gems, and he has a pretty hated face because of the characters he plays. But he's very likable in this. And literally this outbreak starts happening in this little town, but it starts slowly happening to the point where it's not even phone calls coming in. Like they have this singing group of little kids come in, and like this girl gets stuck on her words and she starts za, and it's like this really weird scene, and it's like, okay, that girl needs to go take her meds or something. And it's literally, I don't want to give it away, but this virus is a virus that you would never guess. It's not one that people would expect. And it is, without spoiling it, think about where he works and how a virus could spread through a place like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like an STD at an elderly home. I get you.
No, 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 it's really effective in the sense that it's a mood. It's a full mood. It's honestly, it used to be one of my favorite top 10 films. I want to still say it's in my top 10.
So,
But
the vibe that I'm getting from this is the way I
Mm.
seen Martyrs for the first time.
Okay, it's not as extreme as Martyrs, but it has like the best way I can explain it is the tone and isolation of Silent Hill with a real-time outbreak happening in its
Well,
time
I'm
with
talking more about the brilliance of the filmmaking and then how it's nothing like you've seen before.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely because it is nothing like you've seen before. This virus is not in any other film. You will never watch another film that touched a virus like this because if you're not paying attention, you're not going to get it. And there is a end credit scene that you're not going to understand if you don't get the concept. Okay? Like it's so effective to me because it's so real. It could happen, and if it did, there is zero escaping this if this actually happened, unless you find a way around it. If our characters do or not, I don't know. Do they not? But I kind of I want to give away what the infection is, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Don't spoil it. We're just giving people a list of recommendations, and I got a
No.
list of recommendations the other day.
Okay.
Monster Project, never seen.
Oh, what? Oh, yes. Please watch that movie. It's nothing extraordinary, but I adore that film. The creatures in that film, 10 out of 10. Well, the budget they had, it was great. But is it a perfect film? No, but it's one. If you like found footage, it's a must see in my opinion.
Savage Land.
Billy, you got me going, boy. That's one of my favorites too. Okay, that's a 10 out of 10 on my list. Monster Project, I believe I gave an 8, but Savage Land's a 10 out of 10. That movie tore my heartstrings. It terrified me. I had to put a light on.
Can you go 3 for 3? Here's the final one.
Okay.
Curse of the Were Skunk.
You're such a liar. You're
No.
such a liar.
No.
You just found out about this. You did not watch this already.
No, I did not. That's why these are the
It was
this
the
is
Badger one that you
this
just
is
found
this
out
is the
about.
the list of recommendations that I got, and it came from all that stream.
Oh, that's where I heard it from.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I heard it
So
from.
I
'Cause
wrote
was
down
in that
Tubi
stream.
next to
Okay.
Monster Project, Savage Land's next to Prime next to Savage
Okay.
Land, and then Curse of
Okay.
the Were Skunk is somewhat new, and they
Okay,
didn't
we're gonna
know.
go there. We're gonna go there. Let me look at my list. Let me look at my list if we're gonna go there. I have some weird ones. Let's find a weird one. No, like where? Oh, that's kind of a bad one. That's a hot take right there. That's a real hot take. The remake of The Initiation of Sarah TV movie 2006. I rated this an 8 out of 10. It has Jennifer Tilly in it.
Is
This
that
was
the only
original-
reason why?
No, it's not the only reason why, because I thoroughly enjoy it is because I rated it that way. It was a made-for-TV movie. It's based on the original horror film. This is not a horror film, though it has some very horrific story matter for people that are sensitive to certain subjects. It's a very thoroughly good film in my opinion. It's basically like a college witch story. The original's nothing like it. It's very horror, the original. This one has horror elements, but it's a comedy fantasy. Very made for TV movie, but I think if you like that witchy feel kind of thing and you like Jennifer Tilly, definitely check out the TV movie The Initiation of Sarah. It came out in 2006. That I do really like that movie.
Sounds good. I'll have to check that out.
Mhm.
I do have a list of a few other movies that some people may not have heard of.
Go right ahead.
Snake Eyes. It's kind of like in the vein of Seven, with a shady police cop that finds himself in the middle of a conspiracy, a murder conspiracy.
I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Yeah, I recommend that. 8
Okay.
millimeter. It's another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the one where like the paparazzi go after him, right? Or am I thinking of a different
I
one?
think you're thinking of a different one. It feels like Sinister. A private investigator discovers snuff films and he has to authenticate it or not.
I had to have seen this movie. I don't remember it, but I have to have seen this movie.
Another one that I would recommend. A lot of people have not heard of this movie.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, Season of the Witch.
Yes.
Not the Halloween
Not the
3.
Halloween. I know what you're talking about because it was in Redbox.
Yep. This other one has Ron Perlman and Nicolas Cage. And Drive Angry is another one I would recommend. That's also somewhat horror.
You can go into some of these if you want to talk about them, Billy.
Well,
I'm just like jabbing Joel about the ones that I talk about.
This
You're
is
just,
real
like,
quick, and this
grazing.
is for like a particular audience. Like, there's another movie
got
called
you.
Mom and
I
Dad,
feel bad 'cause
Mandy,
I feel like I'm like
Willy's
jabber-jawing.
Wonderland. They're all Nick.
Don't you dare recommend that movie. Billy.
Everything on that list was a Nick Cage
Dude.
movie.
Don't you dare.
And you
recommend
said you were
Willy's
gonna check.
Wonderland.
Yeah, you said you were gonna check them all out. And the main reason why I would say check out Willy's Wonderland and also the Banana Splits movies is
I
because
love the Banana Splits movie. I don't like Willy's Wonderland. Sorry.
those two were passed up scripts for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Good.
I would not say good. You know why?
I say good because I saw the theatrical trailer when I saw Insidious: The Red Door, and I'm hyped for the new Five Nights at Freddy's.
I have a feeling it's gonna suck.
Well, even if it does, it has Matthew Lillard in it, so I'm gonna be happy.
Don't make me choose between Matthew Lillard and Nick Cage.
Oh, I will. Because Matthew Lillard wins, and I don't care what you say.
See, I love Matthew Lillard. Like, he... Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And...
Watch what you say. I'm going to play this clip back to him if we meet him in August. Watch what you say. Uh-huh. Yeah, you better ponder those words. I'm going to play this clip.
I think if I had to die on a hill... If I had to die on a hill... If I had to die on a hill, Nicolas Cage, I would choose every time.
Oh, Billy.
Nicolas Cage came out with... He has more quantity, and some movies has more quality.
I call BS. Every movie Matthew Lillard touches is gold.
Name four. Name four.
SLC Punk, Scream, 13 Ghosts, and fourth and finally, oh god dang it, what was that movie? It's the where he has the monologue about men, why they can't fall in love. What the heck was that movie's name? He has a monologue where he describes how the reason men become womanizers, and I forget the name of the film, but he does it in such a great way with his performance. I forget the name of it. Dang it.
Nicolas Cage was
I gave you three, okay? I gave you three. I can give you zero Nicolas Cage movies that I enjoyed.
What is the best Spider-Man movie in the world?
Spider-Man movie in the world?
Yeah. You heard my opinion. Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie in the world.
You know what?
And Nick Cage was in that.
Take.
Go ahead.
Hot take. Though my Spider-Man will always be the one from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the one that came out recently with Zendaya and I'm sorry, I forget his name. I really enjoyed that one, and I think I will consider that one my favorite one because the way it made me feel at the end, my heart was broken.
All right, fair enough. Have you seen The Croods?
The Croods, I've seen bits and pieces because my nieces and nephews.
Have you seen Kick-Ass?
Oh, I've seen Kick-Ass. How can you not see Kick-Ass?
Have you seen Face Off?
Face Off. I don't know.
Face Off is a great film with John Travolta and him. It's more of an acting exercise. One acts like a
Okay.
straight lace FBI detective, while the other one is a loose cannon and
Okay.
kind of jokery.
Okay.
And Nick,
You know what? I'm gonna give Nick Cage a benefit of the doubt because I said I don't enjoy any of his movies. I'm gonna look at his list and I'm gonna tell you the ones that I do thoroughly enjoy. Okay? Because I'm not a dick. Okay? I feel like I'm being a bitch.
other ones I would recommend is Grindhouse, Lord of War,
Oh.
National Treasures. Face Off is so good. He was also in Fast Times. What
Was
else?
he in Fast?
Yeah, that was one of his first movies. And do you want to know a fun fact? So this
I
man
do.
has
I always want
over
to know fun facts.
this man has 109 film credits to his name.
Yes, he does.
He hold on. He was offered a movie and turned it down because he didn't want family help.
What? He didn't want what?
Family help. His uncle is a famous director.
Really? Okay. Okay. I see you. Okay. I like Kick Ass. I'll give him that.
I'm just gonna double check
But-
this fact because I don't want to be wrong on here.
He
Okay.
went uncredited as a character called Fu Manchu in a movie called Werewolf Women of the SS. And I need this film in my life, so this is on my watch list now. Rob Zombie's fake trailer for Grindhouse. Oh, I'm mad now. Off my watch list. I'm so mad. I got excited.
All right. I'm glad I checked this. He was in one of his uncle's movies. Have you ever heard of the movie Rumblefish?
No.
His
Nope. Oh, okay. He was in Weatherman, correct?
Yep.
I love Weatherman. I will give you that. Weatherman hit me in my heart. I love that movie. I will give you that one.
Have you heard of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now?
Yes.
That is
obviously.
Francis Ford Coppola's movies.
Okay, Moonstruck is another one I'll give Nicolas Cage. He was excellent in that, and I loved him in that.
Oh,
Okay,
so
we can move on.
Nicolas Cage and Francis Ford Coppola are related, and he didn't keep the Coppola
Really?
name. Yep.
I mean, I respect that because that's a big name to live up to.
Well, also, he did give family roles. Like, he famously gave his niece a role in Godfather 3, and she kind of was dog shit.
You're getting a Face Off too, Billy. It's coming out. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's been in
It
production.
already came out, apparently. It's rated an 8 out of 8 from 7 people.
And Nick Cage isn't even in it.
No, it's a bunch of foreign actors. I think it's a foreign film.
Yeah. But I love a lot of
Yeah.
Nick Cage movies, and Nick Cage is, for me, underrated. The Rock is a
Okay.
good movie to see as well.
Okay.
And he has 8.
Why not?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Lords of War is coming out with a sequel.
Okay. Can we talk about Sucker Punch for a second?
Yeah.
Because nobody likes that movie that I've talked to, and I love it to the point where I want a tattoo of it.
I love the director's cut. I love it until the end. The ending is what takes me out of it.
The lobotomy scene.
That and like the final dream, like
like the climax of the girls.
yeah, every single dream sequence and every single so her real life and the fake world, they are very, very interesting, and then the dream world makes it 10 times better. I think what sucks is you have 2 strong dream world scenes.
Yeah.
And the final one kind of falls off for me.
Okay, like a robot one on the train. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is that the final one?
I think so. It's been a minute.
I'll have to rewatch it. I just know I enjoy the whole movie all the way up into the ending, and I don't like the ending.
Okay, I respect that.
They made it a sexy, positive movie. in the trailers, but when you went and watched it, it was something far greater. And
That's the biggest comment I get is that why was there no boobs? That's the biggest comment I get. And I'm like, this is why it made no money because it got marketed to the wrong people.
wrong people. But
It did.
do you know how many like idiots would have marked this one of the best films in the world if one of them showed their boobs?
110%, I agree. That's why I think that like for me to say a movie is a 10 out of 10 that is this heavily CGI is big for me because though I don't hate CGI, it's not my favorite. I adore every second of this film.
Well-
I love the mood that it is. I love the tone. I love the style. But go ahead, Billy.
Here's younger Billy's thoughts, like with the Friday the 13th franchise or Nightmare. It's like, man, this kind of sucked, but hey, at least there's boobs.
Right, exactly. And when you make them basically exotic dancers and you don't show anything, I get how the straight population could get ticked.
Imagine like a bunch of people going like, "There's no boobs. What's going on here?"
No, literally, everybody that I talk to that's a straight male about this movie is like, if it had boobs, I would have liked it. And I'm like, yeah, clearly they marketed this very wrongly.
my
but
issue
it was
is-
an action film at its core, though.
It had fighting ninja robots. It had all the cool things. It had
It had dragons.
yep.
It had Nazis to kill.
It was fun. I don't
And
understand.
who feels bad about killing a Nazi? You just pop those heads like pop, 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 pop.
See, I don't know. I hate to get political.
I'm not going serious. It was a joke.
But the thing is
take my comment in jest, people.
Well, everybody should hate Nazis. That's what we're trying to say. Another thing, everybody should hate human trafficking.
Okay.
But-
Okay, that's a good one to bring up because there's a movie that I just recommended to Rob. That's a great one that nobody talks about that.
There's a new movie in theaters that is having malfunctions left and right in almost every theater around America.
And what is that?
It's that Freedom movie.
What do you mean by issues?
AC would go out, so it's hot as hell. They would not turn off the lights for the movie. And some movies, like they would start, it would have a flickering thing, and they would say, we have to restart the movie. If you guys don't want to see it, we'll give you free tickets, and you can go see a different movie.
What movie is this?
Sound of Freedom. It's a true story about a former agent.
My friend just tried to get me to go see this.
So
It's like a 3-hour movie, right?
a lot of people say QAnon is involved. There's
It's a story. It's like a biopic, right?
yeah, there's a conspiracy around it because they're like, this is a racist group that believes Jews control human trafficking. And no, if anything, the director talked about how I believe it was his daughter got taken and is human trafficked. He saw this. What gives him hope was this story. He wanted to make this story, and this was completed back in 2018. And then Disney bought out Fox, and when Disney bought out Fox, they saw the movie. They said, we don't want this movie, and they practically got rid of it. The director who put, like I said, he had family ties to it. He had issues. He wanted to cash around, see if anybody would take it. Amazon denied it. Netflix denied it. A lot
You
of places.
literally, like, I told my friend before we did this podcast that, like, I was falling asleep as he was explaining it to me, and I'm not going to see it. And now you got me wanting to see it.
Well, everybody was denying it, and nobody knows why it was being denied. This Christian group called Angel Productions or something like that came in, saved it, and they didn't alter the film in any way, and they are like, go ahead and show it because the message behind human trafficking is wrong, and they actually added a line.
That's kind of funny because human trafficking is one of those iffy things that terrifies me in film because it's very real. And there's a low budget horror film that I do suggest just as a side mention to this topic. Shuttle. It was an early 2000s movie. Came out in blockbuster days. I love it. It's a thoroughly enjoyable movie that deals with this subject. Go ahead, Billy.
Well, a lot of movie places are blasting the movie saying this is taken for men that have brain worms and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the thing is they're trashing it because of the also the subject matter.
What, what's wrong with the subject matter?
Apparently,
Like, okay, what the Sound of Freedom, is that what you called
yeah,
it?
apparently they're saying this is a gross way of looking at human trafficking. But the thing is,
Well, how is there no gross way?
yeah, this is the only way that people are talking about it.
Well,
And
see, that's the thing. It's like, that's what I'm gonna say this right here and now. People need to stop being so sensitive about harsh subjects. If you're gonna go into a film about a harsh subject, expect harsh content. You're not gonna. This movie may be PG-13, but it has something to say.
What I would recommend people is stop seeing things like as so bigotry and racism. There's an issue going on. Stop.
Hold on.
Like, stop believing in like Black Lives Matter. Like, like stop getting involved
I
with.
think. Okay, do you know off the top of your head? This is a very random question, Billy. But do you know if this guy is Mormon or not?
He's Hispanic. I don't.
Because there is on my PlayStation 4, I wish it was still in my room. I have a sticker. It's I forget the name of his foundation. I'm so sorry, but he does this. He does this exact thing. He literally goes and spends his own money and goes to foreign countries, takes these kids and saves them from these human trafficking places, and spends his own money doing this. And that's what he does for work. And by crowdfunding, he does this. And people that support his site and everything. But go ahead.
Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is quit, like, far right groups, far left groups, quit getting involved with politics. And if there's an issue, believe in the issue. Because if you just ignore it because a group is supporting it, it makes you look like a fucking idiot. It makes you look like a bigot, and it makes you look like a racist. It makes you look like you're supporting pedophilia, and that's not what anybody should be about.
And that's the scary thing is too about this whole thing is, Billy, if like all this shit's going down with this film, you realize like big money is in this shit. You know, like big people are in this stuff. And they don't want it to be known, so of course they're going to try to stop a film like this.
Yeah, and we'll go on TikTok, type in Sound of Freedom movie theaters. Not one, not two. There's like, I never seen so many issues for a movie in my life, and everybody on TikTok, or like you'll see so many different experiences, and they're filming it too, so you can't say it's a conspiracy because it's actually happened right in front of you.
That moment you go to a movie not to see the movie, but to see if anything happens.
Yeah. So
seriously though,
this is what I'll say. Take everything with a grain of salt. News media, movies like this, because at the
100%.
At the end of the day, it's just a movie. But when you start saying, "I can't support this movie's themes because of a radical group," that radical group is saying that sex trafficking is an issue, but then they add because of the Jews or whatever they're trying to say. I'm not saying they're saying that because I haven't done my research. All I know is this movie's going on, CNN saying this movie's garbage because of this racist group. I had somebody, I posted a TikTok, and somebody, I know he doesn't watch our podcast, posted a TikTok, and then he made a video out of it and then started talking politics, and I didn't want to respond, but I responded, and then he kept going hard. I'm like, oh my god, like I hate politics for one, and two, can't we just say racism's wrong, bigotry's wrong, and sex trafficking's wrong?
110%.
But why do we have to add the rights and the lefts?
And why do we have to censor the fact that it's wrong?
You know?
Why can't, if it's in a form like this of trying to show somebody the reality of it, why can't we show people the reality of it and not get flashback?
Look at the California bill that just didn't go through, by the way.
What happened?
They were gonna make it like if you committed the crime of human trafficking and you get caught, death penalty or life in prison. Like they were
Okay.
gonna bump up the felony. They're gonna make it harsh.
Sounds good to me. I mean, that's a life sentence for that child, so why shouldn't it be a life sentence for them?
They denied it. California was like, nope, I'm not playing that game. We're not.
As I said, that just goes to prove big money has a part of this. Big people are a part of this nasty crap. And that's why it's so, like, tiptoed upon.
Mel-
And it irritates me.
Crazy,
And, like,
crazy Christian Mel Gibson is putting out a 4-hour series about human trafficking.
coming from Mr. almost former youth minister says crazy Christian.
Well, that's the thing. I put quotations around that because what if he's not crazy? He's been talking about this since
He's not Christian
1999.
anymore. You know he's a Scientologist now.
Mel Gibson?
John Travolta converted him to Scientology.
There's no way. He just put out
Look it up. Look it up. That's why he considers himself now sane and why he's so level-headed, because he converted to Scientology. You can thank John Travolta for that one, baby.
Mel Gibson just put out a Christian movie, though.
I believe it, because he's done a couple of them.
Mel Gibson, Scientologist.
Uh-huh. It's crazy. I know. I didn't want to believe it either.
I'm on Snopes.
I mean, fact check the heck out of me, because I hope it's wrong.
Mel Gibson, Scientology. No.
No, you don't see anything?
No.
Okay, I must have been misinformed then.
If anything, right now all over Snopes about Mel Gibson is, will he expose the Hollywood sex trafficking ring?
Doubtful.
Uh,
Highly doubtful.
Mel Gibson has never said Hollywood is an institution for a pedophilia ring. So apparently there's hoax websites pushing that. He did not say
If
that.
anybody could do it, it probably could be Corey Feldman, because he's tried to get his story out for years and years and years and years. And nobody
That's my
would listen.
issue. Apparently, this man has been doing this since 1999. Mel Gibson has been trying to get this going.
Okay.
Corey Feldman's doing this for a price. Do you know? He's not going to get the money he's asking for one. And two, if he does, I bet you it's going to be heavily censored because it's his ass on the line.
True.
And his big music career.
Well, in general, it's a disgusting thing, and it needs to be stopped. And if we don't talk about it, it's not going to stop. Period. We need to talk about these things, even if they're not comfortable to talk about, because that's how we get them to stop. That's simple as that.
Man, this episode seriously took it down like spiral.
No, it's not a down spiral. There's nothing wrong with talking about a serious topic. We had a lot of laughs, but we can change the tone up. Let me try. Okay, let's change the tone. I don't even have to look this one up. One of my favorite movies all time, 10 out of 10. It's called Bloody Mallory, and I can guarantee you've never seen it.
Bloody Mallory.
Yes. It is technically a foreign film, but you wouldn't know that like when it came out, I saw it on a box TV and I didn't know it was dubbed. But now that you see it in like HD, you can tell it's dubbed, but I still adore it. It has a trans character in it, and don't let that make me fool you in thinking that that's the only reason I like it. I think for a very low budget film, it has a very good style, it has very good action, and it has a very good story, and it has something to say. The creatures and practical effects are gorgeous in this film as well. One of my favorites, her name is Morphine, and I did a full length rundown on my actual TikTok about this because I love this so much. But she can transform into anybody or anything, and the way she does that is ripping herself basically off of herself, and it's like, and her voice, she has no mouth but she can still speak, and it's like all creepy. And then one of the main villains is like this old Victorian Gothic pirate-esque vampire who's a female, and she's very catty and bitchy and funny. It's a very highly campy, highly gory, very aesthetic, but very low budget film that I adore every second of. It's very 90s Gothic.
Well, I have to check that out.
Yes.
So-
I highly suggest that for everybody, regardless of whether you're straight or gay. I love every second of Bloody Mallory.
So, can you believe this is episode 10?
I can't believe it's episode 10. I'm so happy.
It's been over 2 months. I can't believe how...
I'm so happy. My life is so much better because of this.
I know, like, seriously, like, look how...
Look, I turned into an anime girl. I got green in the back, red in the front for Freddy. I got it going on, okay? I got 30 inches in the front.
Look how much we grown, though. Like,
We have.
TikTok-wise, we, like, expanded
We've
heavily.
had some amazing people on. I've grown over 1,000 since we've started this endeavor. I'm almost at 2,000 now, which is beyond anything I ever thought I'd ever get, you know. I get to spend time with an amazing human being. What's his name again? Oh yeah, Billy
Rob.
D. No, and we've had awesome people join us like
Rob,
and
Ann.
I don't know where this is going to be placed, but I think Ann's episode is probably going to come before this one.
No, Ann's episode's coming next because episode 10 is the next thing
Yeah.
being posted.
Oh, okay, Ann's
Ann's
we
coming
haven't said
soon.
who's nobody knows that Ann's going to be on. They only know that the Jackal is going to be there so
yeah,
far. So we
well-
kind of name dropped. You know who's going to be here now.
Ann's coming. The
I'm
movie
excited for that
Ginger's
episode.
coming. Izzy's
Oh my
coming. Mr. Mayfield himself's coming.
Stop, my heart, I can't take it. I can't, like, it's an honor, like, all these people, it's an honor if any of you are listening that you are even considering coming on this podcast, because me and Billy, he reached out to me. We just started this wanting to talk about movies that we loved, especially horror movies, because that was my niche, and Billy loves horror movies as well. Though we both love film in general. You know, and we can have contradicting opinions and still have fun with it.
Speaking of loving film,
Unless it's Scream 3 and Billy has too much to drink.
That's true.
Then Billy goes Hulk.
well, I'm trying to get that experience from you. I picked a couple of bad films for Anything Can Happen August.
Okay.
And I can't wait.
Yeah,
those movies
we
are gonna come
they're-
out.
Yes, Anything Can Happen August is happening. It's not horror movies in August, guys, gals, non-binary pals. It is any genre goes in August.
And if that works out well, maybe we'll bring it back in April. But
Yep.
What-
You never know.
what we're
We're
thinking-
always open to suggestions too. If any of you think that we can improve in some way, or you want to we should add a game, or you have a suggestion for a film that you want us to do, and you want to get a shout out for the suggestion, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know in a DM if you want to be on the show. Let us know, because we're really nice, humble people. We're not going to scream at you when you contact us. If you're not mean to us, we're not mean to you. And even if you're mean to us, we're usually not mean to you. Well, me, I might be a little sassy at times, but I'm a pretty nice person, I would say.
well, I had fun
No, but
tonight.
Go ahead.
I had fun tonight.
Oh, I had a great time. This was so much fun. I love it. I love it. They're like the ones that I brought up, definitely check out. If I want to bring up again the Alice one with the claymation, it's a foreign film, because once you go down that actual rabbit hole, and if you like that, you're going to want to watch all of his other projects, because all of them match the masterpiece that is that film, if you consider that a masterpiece. Because he literally himself, like, if you don't know how claymation is made, it's shot by shot. Every movement is a picture. And the fact that this is a 54-minute film is just astounding, because I don't even want to know how long that took him to make.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you so much, guys, gals, non-binary pals. Episode 10, Billy, we did it!
We did it.
Thank you for everybody that has come along on this journey. Thank you for everybody that is going to be coming along on this journey. I am so ready. And yes.